Hello everybody, and welcome to our match today between Tempest and Omega Academy in UGC Week 3. It is going to be a great day of Overwatch for us here today. I am EgdarTheGreat, and I'm being joined by my lovely co-caster Ryenn. We have MayLu running We have MayLu observing, and we have Saxo doing production, so obviously huge credit going to them working behind the scenes. Ryenn, how you doing, man?
Doing good. It's been a long weekend of Overwatch so far, and it's only Friday. We got Overwatch League starting up. We got a lot of contenders going on this week. We get some UGC games tonight. I'm excited to see how the meta's starting to shape up. I feel like a lot of the times these lower division tournaments, even though we are casting the Premier League today, that's a pretty high tier as well. But still that meta does get decided sometimes by what we see in that tier 1 play. So maybe a little bit of meta shakeup going in now that we see what those tier 1 teams are doing. Edgar, do you have any predictions for these metas at all?
Any predictions? Well, I can talk about. Also, very briefly, I realized that I don't have a camera. My bad. That should be fixed. That should be fixed any moment now. Don't worry about it. Trust me, I'm just as handsome as my voice sounds. So don't worry about it. In terms of prediction for the meta, we've been seeing. Well, don't worry, we'll see. In terms of the meta, well, we've been seeing what's been played in Overwatch League. We've been seeing what's been played in the Overwatch League. And most teams are, as we sort of expected, defaulting to the Tracer Sombra. Just playing very fast, very high tempo, very aggressive, removal of that one tank. It's exactly what we all expected, though the tanks actually do have a little bit of difference. Winston is the most favored. Winston's definitely the most favored, just for that strong dive potential. But there's been some experimentation, especially with D.Va. So do you reckon that we'll get some D.Va gameplay today?
Yeah, I mean, really anything's on the table. D.Va definitely has seen some play. I've seen a lot of Ramatra on more brawly maps, of course. I feel like a lot of it is like a rock, paper, scissors match between the two teams. You pick the Reinhardt, one team goes to Ramatra, one team goes over to the D.Va or the Sigma, and it goes back and forth, and then maybe it comes down to what they're more comfortable on. Both these teams are vying for positioning in their respective leagues. I believe we're looking at Tempest at 1-1 and Academy at 0-2. So it's an important game for both these teams. As I mean, you gotta get a win. Gotta get on that winning board there in the win column. So
yeah. I'm sorry. Both teams are winless then.
Tempest is 1-1, but
Tempest 1-1. Okay.
Yes, Omega Academy still looking for their first, and
apologies, I was just dealing with some technical issues.
The UGC league, it's not. You got 8 weeks. You gotta get the wins when you can, especially when you have the opportunity to. As of course, Antarctic Peninsula is going to be our first map here. You think anything crazy comes out so far? It's a new map. Maybe people aren't quite sure how to play yet. Obviously, there's been extensive months and weeks of scrimming.
Obviously quite a lot of scrims done on this map. It does seem like, and something that I've certainly been finding in my matches at the very least, and at the highest level, is that the teams do favor a bit of a brawl style. And as we go into this first map, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be seeing a mirror on the Reinhardt brawl. Going to be seeing two big meaty men just slapping meat at the same time. So tell me a little bit about the difference between this Cassidy and this Hanzo. How differently are these comps going to play?
I mean, you got to hit your headshots, obviously. The long range headshots from the Hanzo that's gonna really decide it. But the Cassidy is more consistent damage, especially at that mid to short range. So that's what I'm looking for here.
Yeah, the wall was very good from Habutai, catching out Taztain early, meaning that the side is down a player. Wacky will be taking May, however. Wacky also finding the fire strike onto Solas. Taztain making up for that early death, going to be coming back into this fight with a vengeance, finding two. And it does seem It does seem like Omega Academy are going to be taking this first fight. Apologies, got confused with team names there.
Yeah, I mean, the May wall was perfect. You know, it really just adds that extra little oomph there in the middle of a team fight like that.
We are going to be seeing a speed onto the point. Wacky hitting a big shatter onto the backline, catching both supports. That is not what you want to see at all for Omega Academy. And yeah, off the back of a great shatter, there from Wacky, it is going to be, apologies, Tempest being sent back to spawn.
Yeah, I think you're both playing this brawly style right now, and especially on the Ryenn mirror as well. It's going to come down to which supports really are trying to just hold up a little longer. And I mean, you got that beat almost online from King Scar. That's going to be a huge difference maker as the window goes down early there from Chill. Really just trying to get through that choke point. Maybe that's a difference maker here in the fight. And a good counter pin there with the Blizzard coming down.
Yeah, very aggressive pins coming out, but Sun Solaire will be popping the Blizzard there, getting a few. Solas with a nice little shatter to catch Sun Solaire, but Wacky staying so stalwart in front of their team. Are going to be pushing through now. Chill is so low in the back, but is able to escape. AER going to pop that. AER going to be popping that Deadeye to zone out. But in the meantime, Kingscar just has a duel with Chill. That is most of the healing gone for this side. Kingscar trying to keep trying to keep them in the fight with that beat before Taztane ends up just cleaning it all up. Great play here from the DPS of Omega Academy.
Yeah, with 92 and climbing now, it's just a matter of time. I mean, you got to switch over the ball here if you can even get a touch there. Solis trying as hard as they can. Not going to get there in time, as much stall as you try to come through. And, you know, you use that window open, or you use that window 2 open on the side of Tempest, and then you don't have it mid-fight. And then on the side of Omega Academy, they respond with their own window. During that Blizzard, there's so much damage and healing going through. It's not a great situation there on the side of Tempest, especially in a dire fight like that when the other team's at 88%. It's a tough and tricky situation. See if they can, work around that here on the second point. See if they stay with the brawl, maybe go to more of a divey. I know I've seen a lot of dive on this point here. Interesting to see how these two teams get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. The window from Tempest was just a bit too kiteable for Omega Academy, as you say, as you quite well put, just able to back out, go back in. We're going to be seeing another mirror on the composition. Taztane has been getting the better of AER on the cast on this Hanzo. We are going to be seeing whether they're able to replicate that success again, as both teams are just going to be posturing a little bit for position here. Slightly better position for Omega Academy. Early wall from Sun Solaire, not quite able to split them up. We're going to see whether the team wants to go the point. Habitai blocking off their own team there. Not ideal. Now we are going to have an engage from Wacky. We're going to be pinning in through onto Solas. So much damage onto the tank, but eventually it is countered out. Trade of the Reinhardts means that both these teams are even in this fight, however.
Yeah, and you got Ryenn coming up to this window very quickly. The amplification matrix could be the deciding factor here in this fight. Flip might be going over here to Tempest, but who knows if that'll last long. And the headshot from Taztane as well, opening up there a DPS differential so far during this fight.
Yeah, just those Hanzo logs hitting as you expect them to do. Nice counter pin from Wacky. Putting both Reinhardts on the floor there. Windows are going to be traded from both teams, so Tempest think that it's winnable. Habitai dies, is able to get the Blizzard off, able to freeze up Ryenn, but in the end it doesn't matter as Team Tempest just playing so carefully with their ult. Kingscar has been a highlight on the Lucio, getting key frags surprisingly when needed.
Yeah, I think, Omega Academy there, they played patiently. They had the immortality advantage. They had And then once that May ult goes down, they were able to play around it with some speed as well. And now Ultimate's still online here on the defense for Omega Academy. Tempest has quite the uphill battle for them in this fight. Might be just a dry one at that. Oh, but the shatter in the backline with the dragons coming through. Taz gets one.
Yeah, but Solas trades out with an even better shatter to keep Tempest alive in the fight, and that is when some people in chat will be saying MTD, not me, because that would be mean. But Solas really pulling their weight on the Reinhardt here, blocking Wacky's shatter and then hitting one of your own, one of the best feelings for Reinhardt in this game, and Tempest finally getting a new lease on things here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can't let that percentage get up too high. 44, not a bad position at all, as Tempest trying their best. They're going to take the high ground here on the left side. That's exactly what you need, especially with the Deadeye. But no, Taz gets the pick early. Air is already out of the fight.
There doesn't seem to be a big amount of respect given to the Hanzo able to take your head clean off in just one shot. Is going to be a window here from Tempest to try and stall things out. But that is a nice beat from Kingscar, just taking the tempo, playing so aggressively, catching Chill. I'm be surprised that Chill does not die there. Sunsolaire committing the Blizzard to commit to it, and after some nice play, some very good aggression, Team Omega Academy are going to be taking this point away from Tempest.
Yeah, I like that disengage and re-engage there by Omega Academy, as, you know, that window, they get a pick early, and then that window comes down to try to save the fight on the side of Tempest, but you just cut it. You play slow, the road set's done, you have a beat advantage, you have a health advantage, you have a DPS advantage, and you're in there. Omega Academy definitely playing well here. Tempest not too bad themselves. They have some ultimates coming online, looking for this Blizzard to be really good here from Habitai.
It really is. But Kingscar has been so on point with the speed boost, the speed amps to get their team out of sticky situations. Early window from Ryenn in a high ground position. Going to be very rough to deal with. Shatter out from Wacky to try and deal with the Blizzard, but will still be frozen up. Reinhardt not quite able to escape. Just seemed a little bit alone there, a little bit ahead of the rest of their team. Habitai and Solas are going to be cleaning up as we do go into final fight territories. With Team Tempest on the point. And I wonder, is Omega Academy even going to be able to have a clean retouch?
Yeah, Wacky's your first one coming in on the Reinhardt. The wall might be able to go up there from the May, actually used on the other side just in case. Wacky and Kingscar on the Lucio going to be able to touch here. Might just be able to save the game. Solace goes down, but both supports on the side of Omega Academy are down at the beginning of the fight. Edgar, it's not looking good. We might be going to a round 3.
Absolutely. The frags are simply coming in for Team Tempest here. A nice high noon at the end to zone out any last touches. And yeah, it was just a victim of circumstance there. Omega Academy forced to commit to a fight that they knew that they were down in. Even with that, DPS still fragging out, still trading back and forth. But in the end, the positioning was just superior for Team Tempest. And after what seemed like a pretty dominant first map, Team Tempest really coming out swinging there. And I think this third map's going to be a pretty big decide of how the rest of this series is going to go.
Yeah, and I'm really looking to see if both teams stay on the brawl here, which it looks like they're doing right now. But this is another round where dive can really work very well. You got high ground and low ground here, especially in the middle of the point. But the brawl's working. Both these teams feel definitely feel comfortable on this BAP Lucio. Obviously, we still have Air on the Cassidy and Taz there on the Hanzo. Wonder if that's going to be, again, another difference maker as both teams looking for that first pick.
As an EU player, I'm very happy to see the teams committing to the Reinhardt and literally nothing else. It makes me very happy, man. Early walls coming out from both Mays. Doesn't seem like they're able to get any significant separation. Both Ryans just trading damage back and forth. Wacky falling quite low. And the trades are simply just better. Yeah, there's just better there for Team Tempest in that case. The Lucio speed from Fable there actually coming in clutch with the speed there to just enable that aggression. Solas, as you can see, already has a shatter online. That's how aggressive they played that fight.
You know, I think a lot of that comes from, again, the Cassidy versus the Hanzo there. You have so much of that up front damage, maybe a few fan the hammers, just that mid-range. And if you're not finding the value on the Hanzo, not hitting a headshot, then you have a disadvantage in a long drawn-out fight like we just saw, which allows that first cap to go over. But a quick recontest coming in here already, and a wall already expended there. Habit to trying to get Wacky caught out on the bottom. Oh, but the shatter comes through.
That's it. That is a big shadow onto Solus. Great play from Wacky there, pinning into their own team. I was about to make a criticism there, but that can wait. Habitai will be investing the Blizzard to keep the fight. However, an AER on the high ground cleaning up, and this is the point I make, and that's the point I'm going to make. Omega Academy, I liked the idea of the solo shatter onto the Reinhardt. I liked the idea, but in the end, the high ground was just so free. They need to clear that out first before committing to a proper fight.
Yeah, Air just walks into the back line, just no regard for human life, and takes out 4 there. And now, look at all these ultimates online as well. Only use the Blizzard in that fight. You have 4 in the bank, basically, once you get that beat up there in 5%. But you're fine with using the Amplification Matrix early here. It just deters the other team from the high ground again. Omega has to resort to the low ground, where they have a disadvantage. Although, Solus maybe a little too far there after that Immortality Field goes down.
Solus went for a pretty wild pin there. Sometimes those pay off. That time was not... very, very clean play from Omega Academy. Not panicking in the face of a Ryenn charging at them, just staying very calm, very collected, bursting him down from a distance. And I do understand that Tempest had to contest the point, but Solus just seemed to go about it in the wrong way, really giving up the high ground control quite decisively there, and letting themselves just be mirrored by Omega Academy.
Yeah. And now the ultimate advantage definitely in favor here of Omega Academy, like it was in the last fight, but the other way around. So maybe this time we'll see another fight won by the less economical team. This fight's going on. It's going to be the Blizzard in early there. Air can't get the Deadeye off, and 3 frozen. It's a feeding ground for Wacky, just swinging the hammer.
Just line them all up and freeze them all up as well. Great Blizzard from Sun Solaire, and I like the economy here, the ult economy from. I like the economy here from Omega Academy. That was one ultimate. Most teams in this situation would just toss everything in the kitchen sink: a shatter, a beat, a dragon, a window. But no, not this team. Very calm, very collected.
Yeah, and another fight already happening here. A good wall coming out, but the Dragons are right to answer for it and forces the Immortality Field out. And that Blizzard might not get exactly what they want, but 2 already dead, Edgar.
Kingscar barely caught out in that. Very sad. A huge shatter from Wacky. Almost trying to save the day, but Fable will kill those dreams stone dead with the beat. Tempest having a new foothold on the fight. And it was just a great ultimate trade there. Wacky's has to switch to the ball just to retouch.
Yeah, it's going to be a last-second touch here for both these teams. Beat online, so it's definitely not over yet, as Kingscar going in has to find a high-value beat, but the Tracer does actually get it. Sun Solaire manages to stay alive, but the Shatter already in. Is it going to be enough? Solus can't find the finish there, and now it's 5v5 on the point. Who's going to come out here?
Solus popping off here. Solo Shatter onto the Lucio wasn't quite able to find him initially, but eventually hunting down the pesky frog on the point, finding the fire strike onto Sun Solaire. Wacky will be cleaned up. Great even play from both sides. At the end of the day, Team Tempest taking this first map.
Yeah, incredible stuff there, and it was a good recontest. You managed to force a lot of abilities, but you didn't force any of the ultimates down as early as you wanted to. And when you're switching up comps like that at the last second, there's not much you can do. You don't have ultimates online. It's really an uphill battle from there. Tough there from Omega Academy, but Tempest proven why they are 1-1 so far in UGC.
Stole's in chat saying, I'm getting diffed so hard, but my team is carrying. Let's go. It's certainly an interesting perspective to put on things, as we are going to be going to Dorado in our next map. Both teams did look quite evenly matched on the Brawl Mirror, to be honest. There wasn't a decisive edge that a team could give. I'm just thinking Omega Academy was so dominant on that first point, so decisive, so clean, really making space for the Hanzo until eventually Tempest were able to just crack the code, play more aggressive with their Cassidy, play into their Fable, and suddenly you're shutting down Taztane from getting big value on the Hanzo. But
absolutely.
Let's see to go from Dorado, because something tells me that we're not going to see big meaty men slapping meat anymore.
I mean, I'm willing to see someone try some brawl on Dorado. Don't get me wrong. I always like brawl no matter what. But maybe here Taz team has a little bit of an advantage. You know, you saw them play the Hanzo originally. You know, Air maybe not too comfortable on more of a snipery type of character. Maybe doesn't really like that long range. So we'll see what comes out here. A lot of times, you know, a Hanzo is good here, but Widow has definitely a lot of sightlines on Dorado. You definitely might see the Sigma come out. I'm looking for more of a pokey comp from both these teams right now.
True, but you cannot expect anything. As I said, I think it would be incredibly bold to run a Reinhardt. Some would say foolish. I would say brave. Certainly going to be interesting to see that. But no, it does look like both teams are going to decide to be mature today. Wake up, maybe eat breakfast, drink their coffee, not do anything too crazy. Going to be seeing some dive coming out from both sides. And I'm mostly interested in how the Winston mirror matchup is going to play, but especially focus on these Tracers. Tracers is such a strong character right now in the game, and one good Tracer can just dismantle your backline. We're going to be looking at the synergy and just the mechanical ability of these Tracers to put in the work on the backline of the other teams.
Oh, yeah. Especially that synergy with your dive tank as well. Winston in this case, sometimes Wrecking Ball, sometimes D.Va, but Winston in this case, it's really that's where the difference happens there. And you also have a Brig versus a Mercy right now. Habitai gonna be on the Echo, which is probably and Wacky down already. Did not expect the Echo right out of the gates. That focusing beam, so much damage, and already repositioning is Omega Academy.
You can't. The thing is, you can't pin that too much on Wacky. Did not expect the damage boosted Echo focusing beam to come out. Obviously, it is quite common for Winston's to hold there, so very good read from Mega Academy to clear that space. From Tempest to clear that space early. But Solaire will be finding air here, and this could turn the tides. It does look like it. Solus Antied gonna have to back up. Tempest just gonna have to give ground to Mega Academy here.
Yeah, exactly. While that Anti doesn't find the kill on Solus, it does, like you said, give a lot of space. I mean, you have to back up. You have to give them the high ground positions. So the recontest here, holding a little strong, and Solus down already. Tastain holding on the cart. I like that from the Tracer. You know, you could put your Brig or your Ana on the cart, but if you have the Tracer on the cart during a fight like that, they can blink out, get a health pack, and blink right back. You're not losing a lot of time, and already kills coming through, Edgar.
Yeah, it is a trade on the DPS, so both teams are even, though. Fable likely not going to be able to res Habitai, died in a bit of an awkward position, as we do still see these two teams just poking, prodding for control. Jump coming in from Wacky, slept up on the point, but that's the synergy we wanted, the synergy that we demanded from these teams. Chill being taken out, that is a good bulk of healing, though Fable actually getting a clutch resurrect there to keep the dreams of Tempest alive in the fight, but Tempest, the side of Tempest is just so low. Sunsoleil able to clean up onto air right there, and it was just a very, very patient game played there from Omega Academy.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to say there's a difference in the Anas right now. That'd be a little rude to say, but Ryenn has been in the back line untouched. Basically, being able to get these anti-nades, being able to force pressure and heal up from a safe distance. It looks like Fable and Habitai are going to look for an angle to take out Ryenn, but Ryenn is chilling in the back and already has that nano boost online. Just playing a great game, great positioning there from the Ana of Omega Academy. As another dive coming in, let's see if they can find any kills.
Yeah, nano onto the Winston, but a nice whip shot to get rid of that. Nano Brigitte, maybe the raid boss will come out in full glory. Solus investing the primal to just keep the backline occupied, and it does seem to be working. It does seem to be working because Omega Academy falling so low. Ryenn, the immortal support we were talking about, not so immortal today, will be found. An echo copy from Habitai, likely just to clean up this fight. I think it was one already, but when you're in this do or die situation with a minute left and facing quite a lot of ults being used, I don't hate the use of that ult there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, but the recontest is going to come through, and with that rally, there's so much extra health, but Kingsguard can't stay alive. I mean, Habatai's running wild in the sky right now, especially with that focusing being so many kills coming through, and another one, a great headshot there. Egdar, is it enough? Is Solus enough there, or is Habatai just too much work?
I do think that Habatai is just overcoming this uncontested in the sky, and that is likely why Sunslayer has swapped over to the Sojourn. It's a nice pick against an Echo. Charge up a rail, and you know it's not the hardest of targets to hit floating through the sky. Bit of a soft counter. Habatai is going to have to play very carefully, but so far putting in a very good performance on the Echo, something totally unexpected as well.
Yeah, Echo definitely really strong in the meta right now when you're not facing any other hit scans. And Sunslayer doesn't have that mercy pocket like Habatai does, so those rail shots have to be precise, have to hit the head, have to do that follow-up damage as well. As the high ground being contested there, Air and Taztain going back and forth on the cart. Just jockeying for position right now are both these teams.
Yeah, Habatai being so pressured out, as I was saying, pressured out by Sunslayer, but eventually able to catch the trade. Though Taztain capitalizing on a nice anti from Ryenn to be able to clean up Habatai. Wacky collapsing in the sky. Solus investing the Primal and a Nano as well. It looks like Solus is going to be able to turn this round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of the Winston, and the counter dive coming through as well. It doesn't seem like Chill is gonna die, maybe. Oh, but the Primal comes out. Wacky's gonna find that one. It's so back and forth right now, Egdar. I don't know who's in the lead. Tastain's holding down the card so well by themselves. It's gonna be the res coming out, and it gets through. Taztain and Wacky can't find it, but Fable finally there to find the kill. Sunslayer over on the Cassidy. Taztain, another pulse bomb. Taztain is running wild on the low ground. Unbelievable stuff from the Tracer of Omega Academy.
These teams are so evenly matched, but as we say, Omega Academy somehow able to clutch it out in the end. What it seemed there is Fable getting the res onto the Ana did end up giving their life. Ana could have maybe just gotten back in the fight from a backline position. Losing your Mercy there with the Valkyrie as well to keep the team sustained. Just a little bit too much for Tempest to deal with there.
Yeah, Ryenn in the backline already. Chill finds a headshot there. So I was gonna praise Ryenn again for staying alive for so long, but the dive already coming through. Solus finds another one, and it's just cleanup now. It seems like second point going the way of Tempest,
who can never count out the ability of a Kiriko to just double dink you in the head from across the map. One of the best designed characters in the game, and Solus are gonna get some brutal stagger kills. Ryenn spawning ahead very early. Likely going to be trying to find one onto King's Cart as well, who does look like they're going to just run to the point and die, which is certainly one of the plays of all time. Big Staggers coming out are really good here for Tempest, and Solus going to be taking some early positioning on this high ground.
Yeah, you have all this positioning. You are down in alt economy right now. Just by a little bit here. You have that continuing rush going on right now, but there's so much mobility on this defending side of Omega Academy that it might just be easy to run away. And Ryenn, 2 shots, Air is down, and your dive buddy, if you're the side of Solus, is already out of there. Taztain finds that shot, and you're retreating there. That fight is all but over.
Nano onto Wacky as well. Taztain just cleaning up the kills, so clean on the Tracer. Exactly what we're talking about of teams needing an ace Tracer player these days, and Taztain has been coming out with that in spades. Nano Wacky there, able to clear the space. Taztain able to clean it up. Great play from Omega Academy there.
And you got 4 ultimates still online there from Omega Academy, just to the 3 of the side of Tempest. But which 3 or 4 is going to be more important as the Deadeye from Sunslayer comes out here, Edgar?
Deadeye able to catch Habatai. That is a big pick. Fable as well. And things are looking bad. For Tempest. An anti there. A desperation primal from Solas just going very angry in the backline, but not quite able to deal with it. Habatai switching to the Genji to try and touch, but I don't even think it's going to come in. The ultimates were just really strong for the side of Omega Academy. Fable able to give their life to touch the point, but Mercy dying first is not exactly what you need to. And Taztain just so clean, just cleaning up all these kills. Just this is what you need, the star Tracer player, and Taztane has been being exactly that for Omega Academy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one clip after one clip, stalling the cart as Tracer, running the low ground, running the high ground. Taztane has been everywhere so far. A good push there, of course, from Tempest. Nothing to scoff at. I mean, you get that far. It's hard to push third points in a lot of these payload maps. So a great push there. A lot of clutch plays, especially from Habitai on that Echo. And, you know, that last fight there, it comes down to you had that Kitsune Rush available, but you're playing it. It's a tough situation. You're playing dive. Your teammates don't want to be using it on the low ground, and when the other team's on the high ground, it's a tough situation. You lose one early. It's just tough there if you're the side of Tempest. But nonetheless, a good fight, especially how good Kiriko is in general with the Suzu and the healing and the damage. It's all there. You want those ultimates to really mean something as we switch sides now. Edgar, more dive coming out. What do you think?
Well, it does seem like Omega Academy are going to be running out on a plat player's nightmare. The Far Mercy here, just to get some pressure in the sky. Maybe take advantage of the fact that there aren't any hit scans being played for the side of Tempest. I've certainly seen better things work, but Tempest do have a very high tempo comp, one that's just able to outpace the Pharah in the sky. The big difference maker here is going to be the Sombra, and because of that, the ability to play very quickly for the side of Tempest to be able to deal with the Sombra. Deal with the Pharah.
Yes. It's going to be tough. I mean, you have that dive available. The Pharah is somewhat susceptible to the dive. You don't have too much mobility if you already use that rocket jump as they go in right above. But Sunsolar already a shot there. Air going down. 2! Unprepared is the side of Tempest, and Sunsolar finds a good few picks already.
That is true, but Sunsolar's Mercy Pocket did die, and so it's not the cleanest of fights. It's not the cleanest of fights from Omega Academy. But we are going to be... Sorry, go ahead.
Ryenn taking the high ground here on the Ana. You're going to have a great position on the bridge, especially as your teammates respawn. You had that cart moving already. Taztane looking for shots with the Widowmaker. You have a good high ground advantage, and that's what Ana really needs here. Ryenn has been in great positioning so far this entire match. There's a fight getting on the way. A dive already coming through right onto Taztane. Taztane so low, but manages to stay alive, Edgar.
Great sleep from Ryenn there to ward off that aggression from Solus, and the trade from the backlines is just better for the trade in the backlines is just better for Team Tempest. As I say that, however, Habitai catching Taztane, and Kingscar has been caught out again. And without a Mercy, Sunsolar just cannot really play the game as aggressively as they need to. Ryenn catching a late kill onto Habitai, so the re-engage potential is here. But it is going to be taking a while. But we do see justice being rained onto Solus, a resurrect coming out from Kingscar. So that is just a good trade for Sunsolar. Oftentimes, when you use that fire ult, you will just die. The shots are clean onto Habitai, and another one onto Air. Another onto Chill. When will he stop? Someone praise the sun because Sunsolar is just popping off today.
Yeah, I mean, you feel comfortable if you're Sunsolar using a barrage. You probably know you're gonna be eliminated, but you have a resurrection available. That's the entire purpose. You can trade out and get that resurrection. It's a huge value ultimate there. You get your one, and you get back in the fight, and then clean it up like we just saw them do up in the sky. Now, if you're the side of Tempest here, you really got to find an answer. Chill maybe has to hit a headshot with those. Oh, and Habitai's already out. That's your one counter available.
Someone please heal Habitai. The only one that can consistently deal with the Pharah just slowly poked out. The supports just maybe have used their cooldowns or not quite as attentive as they need to be there. And they're just losing the war of attrition very slowly. These constant 1-2 picks are really just chipping away at Team Tempest. Though Solus able to catch Ryenn could finally spell a bit of a change of things. Sunsolar, though, catching Habitai again. Habitai has been tasked to deal with Sunsolar, and Sunsolar took that personally. So good and so clean on this Pharah. Just catching more and more. Going to be trying to hunt down Solus. Not quite able to. but Sunsolar is dominant in the sky. Something needs to be done about them.
Yeah, just like Habitat was on the Echo in that first round there, Sunsolar is doing the same thing. Just uncontested as the dive has to go over to the card here. And look at that's a nano barrage in the back line. Already your Lucio down. The Kasune Rush going to come through, going to give you some speed boost. But Sunsolar is still on the point and is still finding eliminations. It might be a fair trade there with the Ana of Ryenn going down. Recall used, however, and Air has to fight for their life on the point versus Taztane, who we know is good on the Tracer. Reinforcements coming in, and maybe they've just done it with that kill onto King's car.
That fight was always going to be incredibly rough for Tempest, having to walk into that now barrage, able to survive through it and actually still live on the point. Very surprising play there. Ryenn will be making that switch over to the Kiriko, trying to be a less diveable target, especially now there is a Sombra in the mix. I do like this change.
Yeah, you got to go fast here with the Sombra as well. You got to get the hacks. You got to get the damage. That's a Suzu coming out there from Ryenn, so you know that's not available. But Solus is the first one to fall. That's a trade there onto the Kiriko, but is it enough? There's kills back and forth. Now Sunsolar does not have that Mercy Pocket, but is it going to be enough? Can they find that long-range damage? Air finds it, but again, another trade is back and forth, and only a Lucio on the car, Egdar.
It is, as you say, it is just a Lucio going to be hounded down. That being said, the spawns are good for Tempest, and now you can see Tempest's game plan, and it's one like ignore the Pharah as much as possible. Even if they're picking off the rest of your team, just ignore her. Wacky though, being a bit of a sniper monkey onto Chill there. The EMP is big, however. Catch Taztane and Wacky. Looks like they're not going to be able to capitalize off of the opportunity made though, as Chill trying to make their way back from spawn, just so low on the point. The side of Tempest, Sunsolar just being a menace in the sky. Another barrage, another kill onto Fable, probably slamming their keyboard right now in frustration. So would I don't even blame you there. Kingscar with a res onto Ryenn as well. And this Pharah comp has just been absolutely dominant from Omega Academy.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing and exactly how to play it right now. And Tempest isn't even doing a terrible job. It's just that Sunsolar's just incredible in the skies, hitting the shots, so much damage coming through. Air's going to be the one to have to touch there, and they're already low, and Sunsolar takes them out. The payload's so close. It's going to be tough as Fable goes down as well. The dive's in the back line. They're not even focused on the car right now. They're already in the spawn. This card creeping ever so slowly, and we might have a tied match here, Egdar.
Air has been just unable to play the game. Constantly caught by the damage boosted rockets at all times. Solus trying to stall out, but Ryenn catching a beautiful little headshot to finish the monkey off. Desperation pulse bomb from Air, probably the only thing that's been able to do this entire game with the damage boosted fire in the sky. Wow. And after that first map, we are going to be seeing Omega Esports tying up the series 1-1, and this is a series.
Absolutely. Great games from both these teams. Great 2 maps so far. Exciting to see what comes after this little halftime break we have here. Everyone stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey, Bastion.
You good?
You like what you're watching? You want to know when we go live with more matches? Then give us a follow on Twitch and join our Discord to receive updates and more.
Welcome back, everybody, to UGC Week 3. We're in the Premier Division right now. We got Tempest versus Omega Academy, that is. We got a 1-1 match right now, Edgar. It's getting good. We're going to Hollywood next. We saw dives from both the teams. We saw rushes from both the teams. What do you think we're seeing on Hollywood?
I do think that the dive is going to be the predominant thing. First point and third point, a little bit more flexible. You can wrap around onto the high ground with a Reinhardt. You can set a Sigma up on the high ground for some poke. But that second point, the high ground, is just so strong. Yeah. It is so oppressive. It is almost mandatory for teams to be playing dive. Both teams clearly able to play that. Hope you'll like that Hope you'll like the little graphic that you just saw, that little advert for the Marvelous Esports social media. Do give them a follow if you're interested in watching more great Overwatch matches like this, because this is gearing up to be a great series. We do know that both teams are comfortable running that dive, so we're going to be seeing whether they both want to roll out on it to begin with.
Yeah, I think, maybe you see Sunslayer go back to the Pharah there. Just pure dominance there on that attacking round of Dorado. You just want to stick to it. Maybe you think, oh, I guess I should have played that on defense as well. And maybe if you're the side of Tempest here, you think, well, what counters a Pharah? You go for a hit scan, you go for more damage, you go for a diva. Yeah, you counter Sunsoleil here and make them play something that they don't want to play anymore, something that you've already beat them on. I like what's coming out from both these teams. I'm excited to see how this goes, Edgar.
Sunsoleil's Pharah really is the X factor for Omega Academy. And so, as you quite rightly put, Tempest are forming their entire game plan around that. Damage boosting the Ashe to get those kills, a Diva to shut them down. And so last time they tried to ignore the Pharah. Now it looks like they're trying to go all in on killing the Pharah, just enabling air as much as possible. And it seems to be working. There's the kill. Kingscar pressured out, so no res is available. Wacky and Taztain trying to sync up on the backline. But in the meantime, Solus just decides to deal with the fire in the sky and then just ignore them and ignore everyone else completely. Run into the backline with Habitai. Clean it up.
Yeah,
and that is going to be a clean first take from Tempest.
Immediately, Sunsoleil is off of the Pharah, onto the Cassidy there. Yeah, Kingscar going over to the Zenyatta as well. Another death there from Sunsoleil, unfortunately. And a Tempest, they took those 5 seconds that we were at break, they put their noggins together, and they came up with an answer to the comp that they were seeing. Solus has to retreat off the high ground. Great, textbooked there from Tempest. A quick first cap. They knew exactly what they were getting themselves into.
It is interesting to see the double flex support come out from Omega Academy, but clearly good because these high grounds are so difficult to contest, even with those dive tanks. So I don't hate it at all. Solus, incredibly low on the point, is going to have to just back up and get healed up before trying to recommit to the high ground. Air going to be sticking on the Ashe, but I do think is going to be struggling quite a little bit, Ryan.
Yeah, I think there's so much damage and utility on this high ground. Look at it. You try to go up there and there's immediately a dive. There's a Discord orb in your face. There's an anti-date. There's a sleep coming through. It's tough to get up that elevator. I mean, you can't just dive everyone. You got a BAP. You got a Ashe. You got to use that elevator, but they're waiting. And Habitai can't find the work on the cards either. I mean, you got Wacky coming down, popping back up, got Sunslayer raining from above. It's a tough position to try to dive into. Maybe with a Diva Bomb, you can make something work. I'm excited to see how Tempest works here onto this high ground.
I do feel like the Diva pick is interesting. Chill has been almost left completely in the backline. Solus finally coming to Pill, but Wacky's still finding Fable and Chill. Solus gobbling up Taztain's Pulse One as a consolation prize, but it's all for naught. Habitai barely getting out with their life. That was a horror movie right there. Almost 1 HP on Habitai. A nice little D-mech onto Solus as well. And I really do feel like the Diva is no longer... Oh, and a nice shot there from Sunslayer to tag them out. I don't feel like the Diva is what you really need anymore, even with... Maybe use the bomb to forcibly clear the high ground, but you probably need a Winston for more actual dive pressure, to have that bubble and to enable your other divers to do something. Air on the Ashe also having a bit of a rough time of things.
There's the bomb over the top. It's going to find no one. It does clear the high ground a bit, but you got to capitalize on this. They're already back up on the elevator. They're already there. Habitai couldn't capitalize on that low ground. The Nano comes over onto Wacky. The Bob sort of applying pressure there near the cart. Looks like they're going to give up a little bit of space. Egdar, I mean, is it working here?
No, it doesn't seem to be. Air just not really in a position to do anything without getting shot back. Sunsoleil is dealing with these flank angles incredibly well. Nice transcendence from Kingscar to clean everything up, as Sunsoleil does commit the Deadeye to do something. I guess just zone a little bit of space out. Though now all of Omega Esports are just playing on the low ground for essentially no reason. Air taking advantage with a beautiful headshot onto Taztain.
they're already back on the high ground. I mean, you got that one pick there. Maybe you can force out Wacky there. They are burning a little bit, but Tastain has a pulse bomb coming back into the fight very shortly here. You have to pocket Air here, but Air has to get onto the high ground. Eventually, Solus antied up, discorded up, and taken out of the mech just like that. And Air headshot there. Is it going to be enough trades here, Edgar? It finally looks like Tempest might be breaking this one through, but Fable falls.
Solus as the baby diva killed 2 as the D-Rex diva. This is the greatest Overwatch that I have seen in my life because of that, and because of that solely. Literally, off the back of those picks, Tempest have a reason in this fight. Now, that kill, unfortunately, was in the mech, so not a 3k for the baby diva, but still a very important kill onto Sunsolaire, all the less. Air with a beautiful damage-boosted headshot onto Ryenn, just deleting that Ana from the fight. But a nice stick will be... Yeah. Does seem like Tempest dreams are pushing. Arch going to be killed stone dead.
Yeah, it gets a little scrappy there near the tail end of that fight. You're going for the res there. Somehow Fable makes it out. They get it. Chill on the high ground. Definitely the cause for that one. But Air can't even make it out of there. Didn't have the coach gun to get out of there efficiently. And another nano boost going over to the Wacky. Oh my goodness, another sleep from Chill. Now that Chill's on the high ground, it seems like a different game so far, but Habitat's down yet again, and the Primal Rage is coming out, Edgar.
Chill's performance giving me the chills, so to speak. Just really good play on the Ana. Another sleep, but going to be very angry at Solus for waking up Wacky there. And despite the best efforts of Chill, that fight, once again, back to spawn. And there's only 30 seconds left for Tempest. And they're still on the diva, and I just don't think that it's working.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Maybe if you get a high-value bomb here, at least get one, you might be able to make something do. As Wacky goes up to the high ground, forced out of that corner. But that's just a better position. Now you have room to go anywhere, and Chill has to somehow get to the high ground. Might have to take that elevator, but Wacky's denying them. It's going to be Habitat going up to the high ground. 3 seconds remaining. Someone has to touch a card. It's Solus, but Solus does get there in time. Tastain with the pulse bomb. Habitat as well. Bomb's going to go over there and contest. A lot of damage coming through, but you can play slow here if you're Omega Academy.
Tastain has killed 4. Tastain is absolutely popping off on the Tracer. Last minute bomb from Solus, not going to find anything. Neither can a cheeky little remake on the point. That nuclear bomb coming in from the sky, somehow dodged by all the members of Omega Academy there. And a great last fight with Tastain just going absolutely wild on Tempest.
I mean, we saw Tastain on Dorado go wild. The Tracer play has been out of this world from Tastain. And in that last fight there, I mean, you want to get your supports onto the high ground if you are Tempest. But Omega Academy's already up there. And then Solus has to go to the cart. They're the one that has to contest. They can't control the high ground when they're supposed to. It's a tough situation to be in. And you can't get the angles that you feel like you really need in a fight like that. And if it shows to pay. Tastain can go wild in the back line. There's no diva there. They have to stay on cart. Taking advantage of a tough situation, and Omega Academy holds strong on second point after quite a rough first point. Exciting to see if somehow Tempest can get back into it.
It has to be so demoralizing for the side of Tempest. They cooked up this comp in the lab to deal with Sunsolaire on the Pharah. They spent hours, days perfecting it, put blood, sweat, and tears into perfecting that comp, and they execute it and it works perfectly. And then Sunsolaire just switches. And then they can't do anything because it turns out that Sunsolaire is just as good on the Cassidy as well.
Yes, of course.
The flexibility just showing in spades for the flexibility showing for Omega Academy there. Yeah. And Air, I do like this Ashe on the defense. I do think that it is going to be very tricky for Wacky to get in, but just has to be very wary of Sunsolaire taking their head off on the Widow.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's great because Wacky definitely wants to get onto that backline, but with that coach gun, you have an ability that CCs a tank away and Habitat. A great headshot there onto King's car. You just have great ability, so that dive can't really get through, at least from your front. Maybe Taztain can get through to the back and cause some mayhem. And as Solus and Habitai both going low there, a lot of support has to go into that front line. But Habitai, another headshot.
Again, catching 2 with those logs that Hanzo fires out of that bow. Not entirely sure how he does it. It must be very heavy, all of them in the quiver there. But Sunsolaire is going to making that adaptation over to the Genji, and so there's a real commitment to this dive now. But this point isn't the easiest to set up, and you have to choose one. You can either go on to Habitai, who's just going to get healed from a distance, or the pocketed Ash who'll coach gun away. And no matter which one you choose, the other's going to be shooting you in the back the entire time. Very rough time to attack for Omega Academy.
Yeah. So that dive from Wacky goes through, but yeah, there's the coach gun. Wacky has to go down to the low ground, and Sunsolaire is taken out. While the cap is coming through, you have a good positioning here. Everyone grouped up in that cafe area. Solus can contest here with a lot of support coming through. Wacky's up to the high ground. Habitai doesn't see him, and Ryenn finds the shot, but the kills are there on the other side as well, Egdar.
Yeah, this is just a rough time from. This is just a rough time outside. I don't feel like the Genji was the greatest of picks from Sunsolaire. Late D-Mech onto Solus could be big, actually, if they're not able to get back into the mech quick enough. Going to be looking to see a nice little damage boost onto Solus to try and get that up quickly. And this is actually a window of opportunity. Now there's no D.Va to peel away from the dive, and it does look like they're going to be going for it.
Yep. Fable already the first one to fall. Habitai's gonna... that's a good dragon there to get Sunsolaire out, so that's a trade. But now Air, without their Mercy Pocket, gonna eventually fall to Wacky, and it's just a matter of time. Solus finally gets their mech back, but a little too late there as they dive into the back. They're gonna try to use the bomb there, maybe find a kill. Maybe with the remake there. No, Wacky gets Solus before the crunch onto King's car. Maybe a switch coming through, and definitely the first point.
Unironically, that D-Mech onto the D.Va early in the penultimate fight just there actually changed everything, because it gave a window of opportunity for Omega Academy to jump in without fear of the D.Va, just finally hound down the snipers of Tempest. But now, very rough high ground to play on. We're gonna be seeing whether Omega Academy could do what Tempest could not.
Yeah, it's a hard point to cap here, but you do have the Winston available from Wacky. Gonna go Solus over to the point here. Ryenn trying to find some work there on the high ground, and now Solus going a little bit low, has to get out of there as Taztain looking for chill. Somehow stays alive. That's always a stressful situation as the lamps forced early there. It has to, in return, pop the Valkyrie on the side, and Chill is still the first one to go down through all that healing. Trying to get a res there is Fable. Does manage to get it through, but now that's out for the rest of this fight. Egdar, it's so back and forth right now. So much positioning. Habitai.
Omega Academy are making so much chaos, but in the chaos, well, the snipers will thrive. Air and Habitai pulling their weight on the team, getting some beautiful picks there. It did feel like Omega had that fight dead to rights till Fable with the clutch res. Solus, though, going in a bit too deep is actually going to be a big deal. And you can already just see how much space is going to be given out. But a great coach gun from Air.
Fantastic.
Almost saving their team from a wipe there. Going to be seeing whether they can deal with another engage. But the EMP is huge, as you say, absolutely gigantic EMP. Habitai down, Fable down. And it is going to now be final fight territory for Tempest to try and make something happen.
Yeah, Tempest, a little out of time there. You have a few ultimates online. If you can get the primal range to contest here at the last second, you'll be looking to find yourselves in a good position. So it's going to be able to touch first as Ryenn has to get out of there. But Hacked Up can't use the primal range. It's going to be top and the dragon's coming through, but it's a little too late. Tastain's going to pay for their kill, but maybe it's worth it. And the res comes out. Solus is back alive. And maybe, just maybe here, Tempest live to breathe another day, but it's still a commitment here from Omega Academy. They feel like they can pull this one out.
Fable has been saving these fights with these reses, as Air able to shoot through that window with a damage boost, just find two nasty kills onto Wacky and King's car. But credit to Fable, able to get these res off, especially the one onto Chill, the last fight, was just absolutely insane. Speaking of Chill, how do you feel about this bat pick with the rest of the composition? It's the one thing that seems to stick out like a sore thumb.
It's a lot of healing. You know what an air, another headshot there. A lot of healing, and when those dives come through, you have a lot of burst healing to really deter what they're good at, and that's the dive is good at bursting you down as quickly as possible. And with chill on the map, it kind of works out that you can hold it. And with only 40 seconds remaining, you find yourself in a good position as Sunslayer has to be a little cheeky there, touch the cart. And that's good because now the cart's not rolling back as far as it would, but another great anti-nade right where they were standing. The immortality field isn't there, and everyone is so low on the side of Tempest. Edgar, it's all falling apart.
Absolutely map-winning anti from King's Card there. Nothing that Tempest could have done about that. Soulless gonna be primaling on the point in desperation, just not quite able to work out. Desperation touches and switches, but none of it is there. Just what a nade from King's Car. Just blew that fight wide open for Omega Academy.
That's a difference maker. And you had the immortality field available, but you had some people on the low ground, some people on the high ground, and you had the dive coming through. Immo doesn't have that much health. It's a tough situation to be in. And then Tempest goes down 1 map to 2. Omega in the lead, looking to make this the last map. Edgar, we've seen it all. I mean, these teams do feel fairly close in skill. Obviously, we got a 2-1 scoreline right now. What does Tempest have to do here on Coliseum to force that 5th map to go the distance tonight?
Well, there is one thing that they could do. Do you recall what worked so well for them on that first map? Ooh. The Brawl Mirror. It certainly did work. And now we go to Coliseum. First point of which is one of the brawliest in the game. Now, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Omega Academy, a very talented roster, clearly shown, very flexible, no weak points on the team. But the fact that Tempest has been able to get a map off of them, running that brawl, it does sort of seem like they should just all in for it. You know, they were winning the matchup the first time, all in on the brawl. If it doesn't work, well, at least you tried.
Yeah, that might, you kind of feel bad for Tempest. Maybe that's just a result of the map pool this week. It's not very a brawl-heavy map pool. Luckily, you do get Antarctica and you get Coliseum, but those 2 middle maps are where you're weakest at. And no matter how much you scrim, sometimes you're just not clicking. But we definitely saw them very strong on the brawl, on the Reinhardt. We saw Chill wanting to play the BAP a lot. They like that off-support role that isn't Kiriko, that isn't Ana. They really like the map. And it's a perfect map to do that. It's a perfect brawl map. I'm excited to see if maybe one of these 2 teams pulls out the Ramatra to try to counter the other, or if they just stick with Orion Mirror, or throw something crazy out there as well.
Or Solus running out on the Junker Queen. Now, you can never be sure with these pre-game shenanigans, but the Junker Queen is... People are still trying to find Junker Queen's place in the meta. You know, Overwatch 1 things are very obvious. You know, your rock, paper, scissors of poke, dive, and brawl. But the one thing that can be definitively said against Junker Queen is that Junker Queen can farm a Winston. That shotgun damage, the knife, which isn't that hard to hit on a target as big as Winston, pull them back with the leap away, or just shout to deal with the dive. So I don't hate this composition at all. We're going to be looking for very aggressive play from Tempest here.
Oh, yeah, it's so aggressive. But a headshot there from Sunslayer, is it going to be enough? You lose a lot of healing from Chill already, but you have so much forward-facing damage, you might be able to find something, but the sustain's too strong. You don't have Chill there, and you lose that first fight. I love that play. I love that composition. Just Sunslayer breaks it up from the start with a headshot on the Hanzo. I'm willing to think that we don't even see swaps come through. You just now you're aware that Sunslayer is out there on the field, you know?
High risk, high reward. That is the name of the game for the composition. So good when it can close distance, but might struggle to do that. Not entirely sure about Chill on the Brig. Brig was favored in the Junker Queen comps, but that was before Kiriko was released. And I do feel like the release of Kiriko has just changed things. Kiriko can just offer a lot more of what Brig does, to be honest. Though the aggression is coming out in full force. A nicely timed shout to just burst down the side of Omega Academy. Sunsolaire caught early by Fable. Wacky able to catch Chill, though. Chill caught out again, once again, but a lot of healing is gone from the side of Tempest, but Habitai so clean on the Genji. Able to clean up until Wacky and Taztane come in with the trades of their own. Wacky just cleaning up, and clearly the kills on those supports did matter a lot more than they think. The sustain isn't really there for Tempest composition, and so being able to outlast it like Omega is doing is just spelling disaster for Tempest.
Yeah, I think, you know, this Ana and Brig duo in the backline of Omega Academy is really what's helping them out. You nade yourselves, and with that Brig healing and the Inspire, there's so much healing going through, and Habitai's already down here in the fight that it's hard to pierce through all that healing, as Taztane gonna try to find a finishing blow, but Air managed to sneak out of there. You have the beat online, but it's the Nano Monkey coming through.
Solar's catching a lot with that ultimate, gets Kingscar incredibly low, able to find the kill. Ryenn as well. Solar's just solo killing both supports in the back line, and in the meantime, it does seem like the rest of Tempest are here. The trades are good for Omega, however. Sunsolaire with a beautiful shot onto Air. Once again, the Reaper just lacking the range. It is clear that they're trying to shut down the Winston, but the Winston is having none of it and just simply refusing to play ultra aggressive. Just kite the side of Tempest. Just let them walk into your fire, and that's what works. And it's working very well for them.
Fable goes down again there first, and now you don't have that sound barrier online for this fight. The Bob's going to go in there and cause a lot of mayhem. You're looking for a blade here if you're Habitai, but you really don't have the support available, and Sunsolaire finds another pick there, and with the rally coming out from King's Car, Air is going to have to try to force the Death Blossom, but again, it's not there as Sleep comes through. This support line of Omega Academy is playing to perfection right now against this composition. They know exactly what they're doing, and you see it. The swaps are coming through from the side of Tempest.
Yeah, I was thinking those ultimates might have been panic from Tempest there, but it did seem like they intended to switch the composition anyway, looking to play very aggressive onto Sunsolaire and Ryenn. Sunsolaire hacked up, executed instantly, just exactly what you expect from this composition. Chill going to be traded out, though Air catching Taztane is going to relieve a lot of pressure on the rest. Going to relieve a lot of pressure for the rest of Tempest. And it does finally look like Tempest are going to be getting themselves back into this. Chill will be staying on the Ana, not switching to the Kiriko. We're going to see how this works out in the long run.
You know, Wacky does have that Primal Rage. They are going to pop it. They're just trying to stall this bot out right while they can. They're not even trying to get back to halfway. This is their fight to win. They've decided, and with a lot of healing there, Wacky's going to be able to survive through all that damage, and now full strength again. That's going to force the sound barrier out from Fable. Is it going to be enough? A great anti-nade there, and Sunsolaire does go down. It's going to be the EMP almost online, but I don't think it's necessary here in this fight. And finally, that bot looks like it's going to get moving here for Tempest.
I feel like we as casters need to give a lot more credit to the supports when it's due, because you don't always see how flashy they are, but oftentimes instrumental for the fight win. Right there, Fable's beat saved Solus from the brink of death, allowed that continued aggression to play, eventually find those picks. Without that perfectly timed beat from Fable, then Tempest would just be dealing with the forward spawns of Omega Academy. Hack onto Chill in the backline is going to be assassinated. This is exactly why I said that they might want to reconsider the Ana pick here if they're this vulnerable.
Oh, and Solus using the Primal Rage there as well. A little late in a lost fight, but some good kills going through. And it was a great play there by Omega Academy. You see that Solus has dove into your backline, so you just hard aggro into the other team's backline while there's no support there from the tank player. And this bot might be close to reaching that first checkpoint, and that's a huge advantage here on push maps. This fight is going to come down to maybe who wins this map, and Chill so low again. It's going to be the MP in the back line, but is it enough? Is two supports worth the one there with that bot still walking forward?
We're saying keep an eye on Habitai's EMP, and it is huge. Managing to catch both supports is exactly what you need to blast the fight wide open for Team Tempest. Finally pushing that bot forward, maybe finally able to get some progress on their own bot, and don't let the numbers confuse you. This is still Tempest match to win. They still have the opportunity in this, especially with the Nano Monkey, which they could have. But they are going to be facing one from Omega Academy as well. The trades are going to be very tricky to deal with.
Yeah, Chill just not having a good time right now. Solo yet again and EMP'd up. Air and Chill are going to be falling from that. This Chill is just having a rough day. You know, you have King's Car on the other side on the Brig. That's why Ryenn isn't in too much of a dire situation. But Fable on the Lucio, it doesn't provide as much protection. And this dive is so much more effective on the side of Omega Academy. I mean, I think Tempest have definitely been finding good dives, but not to the same effect as Chill. Low again, hacked up. Just the #1 target as Solus does find Cat there. Wasted Pulse Bomb. It's going to be that first cap going through it. That's huge as well. I mean, now you have these close spawns. You have another close fight coming up. Oh, what a sleep there from Chill.
Someone might be spamming Tracer Diff in the chat. That wouldn't be me because that would be very mean. But yeah, Taztane making a bit of an uncommon mistake. Well, okay, clearly heard what I said. I'm sorry, Taztane. You're still good at Tracer. Don't worry, man. But catching out Solus there. Yeah, just caught out without recall in a bit of a, as I say, an uncommon mistake. Chill hacked up again, simply as you say, not having fun in the back line. Wacky and Taztane going in together. A decent dive onto the backline. Nano onto the Brig. An interesting decision. Denying that Nano for Wacky could be quite questionable, but the EMP is big from Habitai. Catching Ryenn gives their life in the process. Habitai isn't too sad about that. You take the trade of the Honor for the Sombra there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you got no supports available now on the side of Omega Academy. Use that Promo Rage just to secure the fight. Keep your backline alive, and you're looking good. That bot, maybe you can get it past that middle section again. Get rid of that forward spawn. But, you know, on the side of Omega Academy, you know, they're playing this exactly how they should be. They're just playing time. You have such a big advantage right now in meterage in progress that you only got to win 1 or 2 more fights, maybe even just 1, and you have the ultimates online to do that. And here's the dive into the backline.
Oh, that is a bit of an uncommon... That is a problem. Ryenn dying there, right next to Kingscar. But Kingscar doesn't care. Pops the rally, use it to go aggro. Sunsolar committing the EMP as well, just to maintain the lead. Don't hate that. Some might say it's a bit of an overinvestment from Omega Academy, but I say you already have the lead, and now you're looking to maybe extend it. It's not bad at all once you have the lead on these push maps to overinvest just to ensure that you win the fight and do not give the other team a lease back into it. Because the moment that the cart goes even 67 meters for Tempest, it is almost over for Omega Academy.
Yeah, Tempest on their back foot right now, and Chill, again, look how much pressure they're under in this backline. They can't do anything right now, and with the rest of the team going low, Chill just can't stay alive. Fable's gonna fall as well in 20 seconds remaining. That's dire right now for the side of Tempest. It's going to be another late stagger onto Air, and the bot moving forward more. They're just going to let it sit there. Why push it even further? It's going to be, oh my gosh, a pulse bomb for Taztane.
Oh, that is a brutal stagger. Solus was the tank, had to touch that point. Now it is just a lone Lucio hacked up on the point. Sunsolar just taking names, cleaning up the kills there. Push through checkpoint from Omega Academy. Well fought match between the two teams, but in the end, that is GG for Omega Academy. And I think that was just a compositional diff on that map there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the prospect of Chill dying every fight, but the fact that Chill has to worry about a Sombra and a Winston jumping at them every single fight. It makes you scared. It doesn't really make you want to play the game at all, really. I sympathize with them for playing against a comp like that. It's a support player's worst nightmare. Omega, they played well today. Taztane, definitely incredible on that Tracer. You love to see it. You love to see a good Tracer player. Tracer, obviously. Who hates Tracer? No one says Tracer's an unfair character. Hats off to Tempest as well. Definitely showed that they do have an opportunity to win games such as this.
Yeah. Absolutely. The last question that I was going to be posing before we go off the air, who takes your match MVP for you?
You know, I really did like Ryenn on that Ana. I mean, Tane showed up in the kill feed as many times as they did, but Ryenn chilling in the back, perfect nanos, good sleeps, good anti-nades. The utility work was perfect, and that's what you gotta get from your main healer or flex support, whatever we're calling it now in Overwatch 2. Good stuff there from Ryenn. A great match altogether as Ana. What about you, Egdar?
I'm actually going to go with a bit of a niche pick, a bit of a hipster choice, and I'm going to say Wacky on the main tank. Just
Ooh.
The DPS were simply uncontested for large periods of that game. That's because Wacky playing tank in the way that I love of if they're stunning me, if they're sleeping me, if they're anti-nading me, that means they're not hitting the rest of my team. And Wacky being able to do all that, play so aggressive, and also stay alive is just some incredible tank play. So my vote, personally, Wacky on that tank just being an absolutely dominant force. And, well, that's all we have to say about the match for today.
I believe so. It was a great week 3 of the UGC. We got at least 5 more weeks left, so make sure you stick around. There's so many more games, so many more teams. Going to be covering as much as possible, as long as we have the producers, as long as we have the casters. We want to bring you Overwatch. Going to bring you some good matches from here on out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Edgar, got anything else to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to say a big thank you to obviously both of the teams for allowing us to produce this match, putting on some great performances. Huge credit to both Saxo and MayLu producing and observing for this game. There's always a need for more producers, more observers. So if you're interested, please sign up. Huge thanks to Ryenn for being a great co-caster for today. And obviously, thank you guys at home for watching. It's what gives us the support, which allows us to continue these streams, bringing you the best possible content. And then I think that's going to be all from us. And so we'll be seeing you in the next few matches. So bye all.
Cheers.